Okay, here we go. It's time to take on the final overarching level of Tomb Raider Anniversary. The Lost Island. So this is the point where things are going to start to get a little bit serious. So we get a nice little swim in. Nothing's really going to threaten us for a while as we enter Natla's mines. And this is one level in which there is a certain bit of backtracking which you're going to have to do if you want to get everything. It's slightly annoying, but we'll cover it and it'll be fine. So as you can see, this is a rather lengthy level. This is the entire level, and I did spend a lot longer on this level than what you're seeing, because of a certain thing that we're going to reach at the end. It's basically, there's a particular platforming challenge which it's very, very easy to screw up. So, seeing as we're here and we know the truth about a lot of things, it's probably a good idea to go into some more character voices and so on and so forth, because you've got Cold Kincaid, who is the large, bold guy, and Jerome the Kid Johnson, who's the skater-looking dude. So probably a bit of backstory is worthwhile here. So, in the original game, in addition to Larson and Pierre, you had three other henchmen for Natla. You had Bold Guy, Skater Boy, and Cowboy, and you kind of ran into them in Natla's mines. And this is really the only place you will ever run into them, which is slightly disappointing that they didn't get developed a bit more. However, in the original game, they were literally just called Skater Boy, Cowboy, Bold Guy. They had no personality at all. They were just kind of there, and just... yeah, so it's nice that they've been given personalities now, and names. So, Cold Kincaid is voiced by Dave Fennoy, who, anybody who has watched any of my previous playthroughs and walkthroughs, specifically one rather favourite one of mine in Bayonetta, Dave Fennoy is Rodan in that, and I'm pretty sure he is. My recollection of the Bayonetta voice actors and actresses has waned since I did that last walkthrough when I got them all perfectly right. So, he is the voice of Tetrax in a lot of the Ben 10 stuff. He is Lee Everett in The Walking Dead The Game, Season 1. And he's apparently also voices Josie in Lollipop Chainsaw, as well as a lot of other roles. Dave Fennoy gets about a lot with his voice acting. He's a very popular one, I have to say. So, we've picked up this fuse. This is going to be useful to us rather soon. So, just make sure you're on the ball with that one. So, I guess that... I've covered Dave Fennoy before, so you should know who he is. The voice of Jerome the Kid is Philip Tanzini, who hasn't really been in a whole lot that's memorable, I guess. So he's most known for a thing called General Hospital in 1963, Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy in 2003, and Puff the Magic Dragon in 1978. And from what I can gather, that's not the Disney film, which I think... but no. What's the Disney one? Pete's dragon, that's it. No, yeah, so I'm getting my dragon, my animated dragons mixed up. So yes, he's in Puff the Magic Dragon. As Jackie. I don't know. Oh, and General Hospital is apparently a TV series. Or something. I do not know. He's not really been in that much to be completely recognisable, unfortunately. And then we have Natla, who is a very, very, very big voice actress, who you should also recognise if you have been watching any of my other stuff. Because Jacqueline Natla is voiced by Grey Delisle, who is most well known for her roles like Vicky in The Fairly Odd Parents, Daphne in Scooby-Doo. I think she's the current voice of Daphne, if not... She certainly voiced her for a while. She is also... Oh god, who else is she? Grey Delisle does a lot. Like, a ridiculous amount. She's probably one of the most prolific voice actors. Well, she is the most prolific voice actor in this game. By a long shot. So she's Kimiko Tohomiko in Shaolin Showdown. She is Riley Daring and a few other voices in like The Replacements. If you remember that show. And in terms of video games, there's one which I hold very near and dear to my heart. She is Jeanne in Bayonetta. So, we've got Grey Delisle and Dave Fennoy here working on this game, and then they would go on to work on Bayonetta together a few years later, which is quite amusing that kind of ended up happening. She's also the current voice of Catwoman in the Batman Arkham games, which is an important one. And apparently she voices Lavina in Broken Age. Who I don't know what character that is, but she's in Broken Age, which is fun. Now, this room here, you're gonna be here for a while. This is kind of the main area of Natla's mines, and it requires getting 3 fuses to move things, which is going to allow you to get your guns. Because you can't kill anything until you get your guns. And that's rather annoying. Like, really seriously annoying. I can't stand it that we are without weaponry. So those rats are actually a little bit of a threat. Because we can't just get rid of them. As annoying as that is. Now, as I was talking about the other henchmen that Natla has, I mentioned the cowboy. Well, the cowboy doesn't exist in this game. Essentially, he's kind of been merged with Larson's character, really. And kind of also cold, sort of. So it kind of they repurposed the villains, because I have to say, kind of just having the not emotionless, but personalityless henchmen doesn't really make much sense, if I'm honest. Now, this is probably one of the most annoying bits of the level, because you've got steam coming out of these pipes, and the steam hurts, and I mean, getting down's a pain to begin with, because you've got to swing and drop and all sorts, and it's very easy to screw up getting out. This particular area took me a good few tries to get down. Also, if you want to get all of the kills in this particular chapter, well, this mini level, yeah, once we get the guns, you're gonna have to pop back down here to kill that rat. Which is so wonderful, and it's totally something that I am not doing. I would very much like to complete the game, but kills do not count for anything. Like, seriously, I don't think they even count for an achievement. I do have a like that the rat follows us about down below. It's rather amusing that the little fella does that. Especially considering he's never going to be able to touch us. Now that we are flying high up along the rock face. Yeah, basically none of the getting all the kills does not count at all towards completion. Because basically all of your main achievements are difficulty related, or collect all artifacts and relics / collect weapons in levels. And that's all reasonably easy. There's also defeat bosses without dying, defeat the game on certain difficulties, beat the time trials, that general kind of stuff. So and then also beating each level, like full level, without dying, which is certainly an impressive feat. Also completing all of the super actions without failing, which is a lot easier to do than you would think. So those are 4 very, very nice 35 gamer points things for you to gather. Secret achievements, however, are a lot more difficult to achieve, but certainly possible. So we've had there's in Peru, your challenge is to complete the Peru gear puzzle without dying. Which, really, I don't think that one's that hard. If it's the bit that I'm thinking it is. Oh no, it's slightly more complicated because it's getting all 3 cogs and putting them in place. So that's rather challenging. You've got the challenge of getting through the Hephaestus room without being struck by lightning. You have the challenge of getting all 4 of the Egyptian seals in Egypt without dying. And then you have the last one of these challenges, which is ridiculous. And it takes place... it takes place in the next level. And just no. I will not force myself to try to get that achievement. Never. It just doesn't bear thinking about, if I'm honest. So, you may be wondering why I have popped back over here. Well, once you've got your guns, you're going to need to shoot down this box if you want to get a relic. Which is a really, really evil thing to do to you. Also, that's not the only thing that we can get now that we have come back here. So, you may have noticed that the boat here, you can shoot and it'll move down. Well, essentially, kind of, after shooting that, we can reach this ledge here, and that is going to allow us to get an artifact. Which obviously we really, really want, because you can never have too many artifacts. Definitely not. Now, if you do fail at any of these jumps, you are going to have to reload the save, if you really should save before you try and do things like this, where there's like only one chance to get it. You're gonna have to just reload. Because you're not gonna get back there at all. Because once that boat is gone, it's gone for good. Which is slightly depressing, but there's not really a whole lot you can do about it, unfortunately. Now, the whole point of this mine here that Natla has going on is to uncover the a certain little something that is very, very important to her. And her whole Natla Technologies cover is a kind of ploy to kind of make sure nobody really realises what the hell she's doing. And rather amusingly, it's certainly not clear what products or services the company offers, but you've certainly got the mining, some sort of computer manufacturing stuff, because the laptop on the thing that Larson presents started is kind of like engraved with the logo, and there is the possibility of genetic engineering, although that's not quite clear either. And then also you have in Tomb Raider Legends, you've got crates which are adorned with the Natla Industries logo, which is probably like a subsidiary or something of the company, because I mean, I'm pretty sure Natla has a lot of money. She seems to have developed this sort of thing for many, many, many purposes, I have to say. She got busy, did Natla. She broke out of that crystal thingy and just kind of went full on to trying to get things sorted. Now, basically, the reason that we are trying to get into this little thing here is it's going to give us access to this drill. And using that drill, we are going to be able to progress further into the mines. Which is really helpful. Like, really stupidly helpful. Because, I mean, without this, we can't go anywhere. So, yeah, we just got to go straight on and break through, but it's not as simple as that.
Sorry, darling. This is the end of the line.
Is it now, Larson?
This has nothing to do with you.
What's it got to do with you? The Scion belongs to Natla. Face it, you got no business here.
I don't have time for this. Get out of the way or you die.
What you gonna do, shoot me? Come on, Lara. I just work here. Now, I know how bad you want this, but I can't let you pass. And we both know you're not gonna kill me for it. That's just not who you are.
I'm not who you think I am.
And so, here we have a quick time event in which we need to kill Larson. Now, considering how much of a big deal was made out of Lara's first kill in the Tomb Raider reboot, I have to say, they did a pretty damn good job of getting across the point here, all the way back here when Lara was going through her badass I'm murdering everyone phase. It kind of manages to show the fact that she does feel the remorse at killing someone, but also that it's kind of a job of just gotta get on with the job as well. Because in this chronology, that Larson is Lara's first kill. And it's rather depressing. And you can probably see where the rest of Natla's mind is going to go. Because she has two other henchmen, and I don't think they're quite going to let Lara get through, if I'm honest. It's not really how they do things. But now that we have made it through the worst, well, I say the worst of the level, we've made it through the biggest room in the level. We're about to get to the rather annoying bit quite soon. And surprisingly enough, no, it isn't the room filled with lava. Although the room filled with lava is certainly a challenge. Because once again we have the bizarre effects of the screen getting blurry and focusing and then blurring again with the heat. I mean, it's a cool effect and all. But I'm not personally too keen on it because it does just make it a little bit of a pain to platform sometimes, because you just can't quite see things as clearly as you would like to. Especially when the game asks you to do stupid jumps to platforms like we pretty much need to do here. Because basically we need to jump onto a very, very tiny bit of pole to get below where we started. And it's hideous. Like, seriously. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I don't even know how that little tiny piece of metal is still standing amidst all that lava. And how Lara is kind of alive. Considering how close she is to all of this. I mean, like, seriously. This kills people. I mean, not only would, touching the lava kill you, like, straight away, but also, I'd say being this close to even the heat of it would be enough to just slaughter anybody. Lara's like a basically superwoman, jeez. Either way, I mean, even though this room looks like it should be difficult, it's really not in comparison to a little bit later on. I mean, the challenge that we're going to be faced with once we're out of this lava room is certainly more challenging, I would say. Not necessarily because of what it's asking you to do. What it's asking you to do is quite simple, but the act of pulling it off is the difficult bit. And this platforming stuff here is not as difficult as the game has asked you to do in the past. Also, we've got a little something over there that we need to go and get, so lovely little bit of grappling to do. But yeah, it's quite funny because you have this rather long chapter, then the next chapter, in reality, is actually really short in comparison. But it involves one of the most hideous platforming challenges the game has to throw at you. So, yeah, you want to be careful come the next level, because the game is going to try and kill you with everything it's got. And it's not going to let up. At all. So take this reasonably nice challenge in comparison to that, because although this can be a challenge once we get up to the top, which is certainly easier said than done, because you've got to jump to the top of the rock and then kind of get off, which is rather a pain to actually do. I'm really not sure why they decided that this was a good idea. Because also, you can't quite see what you're able to work with here. I mean, most of the time you can tell what ledges you need to get to, and roughly how you can get to them, but this... Not so much. Either way, things aren't going to get any better for Lara right now.
I was hoping you'd show up. I want to make you scream.
Unless you want to end up like Larson, get out of my way.
It's so good, isn't it? Gets even better. You can't explain it to people. They have to feel it.
Okay, just back away with the knife.
Girl, you gotta be out of your mind!
And we have another quick time event. Which is a rather cool quick time event, I have to say. I believe in the original game you did actually have to fight these guys, but that is not the case here. It's just quick time event away.
Hard now, are you?
So, all of Natla's henchmen are dead. Now, you may want to pick up the Uzis immediately. You may not want to do that. In fact, doing that is actually kind of a bad idea, because our final artifact in this room is certainly more of a challenge than you would hope. And not picking up the Uzis until, well, the submachine guns, I should say, until after you've gotten that, is a smart idea if you want a nice easy job getting it. So, to make our way into this pyramid here, because that's what it is, it's the Great Pyramid of Atlantis, essentially. We need to jump on these poles, which are essentially switches, and push them in, essentially. And you need to do this for every single switch. And to get the artifact, you need to work your way all the way over to the other side of the pyramid entrance, and then jump your way up from there. Now, it is totally possible to do this in one fell swoop. However, doing so is probably just more challenge than is actually worthwhile. And I'm serious in that you might as well just do it a bit at a time and not worry too much, really. In fact, you're probably going to be falling down a lot more than you are actually jumping across. I know I was, which is why you're going to get quite a lot of jump cuts throughout this little challenge. Because once you slide down, you have to climb all the way back up again. And if you happen to jump a little too far, then Lara may end up killing herself. And then you have to do the whole thing over again. Which it's not fun. And then to get to the end, you need to be able to climb into that little hole thing there. And by there I mean kind of the little hole that's at the top of the pyramid. It's a little bit more challenging to get to than is quite helpful, but still. And the reason that getting this particular artifact is as annoying as it is because you have one shot to jump from that switch, which is going to fall down as soon as you step on it, to the ledge, and the camera kind of works against you because it kind of shifts. So you have to kind of very jumply quickly jump back. I don't quite know where that was going. Very quickly jump back. There we go. Got my words out eventually. Thankfully we got the artifact without too much of a problem, and Natla's mines are nearly over. This is a very, very long mission, and I have to say I was feeling tired by this point. And I was questioning, do I stick this in one part, or do I split it up? My logic dictated, well, I can't really cut it effectively anywhere without leaving a really short part, so I might as well just shove it all together. And so that's what I've done, because obviously you needed a nice explanation of my separation of this game into the separate parts. I have to say, my brain is fried right now. I guess it's all this lava hanging about. Now, I got a little bit confused at this point, because it was like, why won't the door open? I pushed in all the switches. I mean, that's totally what it wanted me to do, and no, you need to pull a switch that's in that little hole. It's a very obvious hole in the wall, and really you should recognise that there's going to be something in it, but when your brain's not functioning properly, these relatively obvious solutions don't tend to come to you. It's the whole thing with being tired and so on and so forth. Also, completely off that topic and back onto the actual game itself. I do really like that they do keep the bodies of like Larson and the kid and Cold and Pierre when you actually reach after the cutscenes, because a lot of games wouldn't do that. They would just kind of let the bodies disappear. But the fact that they've just left it there, and it fits in the story sense, it's just very well done. And considering some of the mistakes of this game, it's very nice that they did actually manage to do that. Particularly because, obviously, for Lara's growth as a character, that's actually... the fact that you've just got the dead bodies just sitting there, and Lara has to kind of try and get on with the rest of this, is character building, more than anything. Certainly one way of describing it. But here we go. Let's pull the switch, and then we can get into the Great Pyramid, which is going to hold Lara's greatest challenge yet. And don't I bloody know it. Oh god. Either way, let's pump ourselves up. Let's do this.